Is it working? Oh! Is it working? Oh! Sweet! Alright, we're live. Okay, so, Dave, you're totally right. I had to leave our hangout conversation for it to pick up. So, yes, okay. Awesome. Learning stuff all the time. Guys, whenever something's going wrong, it's just an opportunity for you to learn something you didn't know. And I did not know. All right, so we're reviewing some evidence. Guys, I talked for like 4 minutes straight thinking that we were live. And then someone was like, is he going live soon? And then I checked the page. And so I was just like talking straight at the camera. All right, the review. We're reviewing some clips from yesterday's Spirit Gateway session, the public one. Basically, we started off by reaching out to Kanika Jenkins, the 19-year-old girl who was found dead in a freezer of a hotel. A freezer that wasn't in use, it shouldn't have been on, in a kitchen that wasn't in use, like just weird circumstances around it. I believe we made direct contact with her, and it's so, like, I'm like 10 minutes into reviewing the footage, but we make a couple of direct connections. Like at one point I say, can you just say, hey Eric? And she goes, Kanika, hey Eric. And then she goes, yep, I'm here. And then she says, I'm here, in a much clearer voice. Like she says, yep, I'm here, and then I'm here, like in her voice. I asked how she got into the kitchen where the freezer was. She says, the basement. And then they go, they're here, it works. And then at one point she goes, dead, I'm dead. Like just a lot of really crazy stuff. I ask, is it easy for her to use the gateway device? And she goes, I hear it, it's hard. So I got to find out how to make it easier for them. Like I really have to. Let's get some shout-outs in. Mary Callahan, Paranormal Playground, Paranormal White Noise, Tim Whitfield, everybody, Android Device, Betty Rose, Sandy Wolf, Dark Knight. I love you guys. I see you. I see you. Charmy, Angela Atwood, Urchi Paranormal, Haley's Crazy Daddy, Paranormal Intermission, Emma, Crimson, Dave, Jessica, Todd. I love you guys. All right, let's do some review. David Hughes, A Lesser Siren, Craig Adams. Never forget you, Craig. I see you. I see you, Craig. I see you. All right, let's go. Let's get this going. No need to sit around and have fun when there's evidence to review. That's the way I look at it. Pretty hardcore. Guys, I'll be real with you. I'm dying to get back into the field. Like do some field work, do some on-location investigations, because we've made such good contact recently. It makes me want to go out and contact local spirits. All right, let's do this. Let's start at the beginning. It's a good place to start. It's the beginning. So I want to point out something. I don't know if anyone in chat saw this when it happened, but look behind me. Oh yeah, it's facing me. Sorry. What? All right, check this out. Let's switch it up. It's Friday, guys. We got to celebrate. We got to have a good time. So you'll see an SLS map. Whoa, it's like zoomed in on it. What just fell? All right, I'm trying to get that there. Okay. All right. So check out the SLS map. It comes up right here in the spirit corner. What was it? Boom. What's crazy is yesterday, before, in between this stream and the private research stream, that mapped in while I was out of the room. Like after I got done taking the girls for a walk, this guy mapped in the same spot without anyone being in the room. So I thought it was pretty interesting. Yeah, like we didn't catch it, and then watch, I like put my arm over it real quick. And then he's gone. So I think he's still there, obviously. See, the SLS camera, the kinect sensor, the 3D sensing technology, it's able to sense, like if a spirit is in the same spot for a long enough time, and the 3D infrared laser grid dots move just enough, then it'll detect the spirit. But if the spirit moves, or if one of us moves in front of it, a lot of times it'll stop detecting it, because it's such a delicate, it's such a small amount of energy that it's detecting. It's hard for it to keep a lock on it. But I have a feeling we're going to advance the field of 3D mapping technology very quickly by doing paranormal research. Check this out. This is when I say, can you just say, hey, Eric? And oh man, I'm chilling up thinking about it. She goes, Kanika, hey, Eric. And so I'll play it a couple times. We'll slow it down. We'll celebrate the weekend. Let's go. Kanika, if you can hear me, can you just say Eric? Right there! And then, hey, Eric. Kanika, if you can... I'm going to slow it down a hair. Can you just say Eric? Oh, guys, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Oh. Hey, Eric. Eric, she said Eric right after. That, guys, that is what's called one hundo. That's what I call it. That's one hundo. Like, I had a feeling Simply Southern, shout out to Simply Southern, she asked me to reach out to Kanika Jenkins, and I'd heard the name somewhere before. I mean, the story was, it's like a big story about what happened to her, but like as I was like researching her and reading the articles, I could feel something, and it was weird, because like sometimes, you know, I don't get a feeling off stuff, but like this, I got like a heavy vibe. I was vibing on it, and it just, I had a feeling like she wanted to come through, and it was just like, boom, boom. Alright, and then shortly after that, right about where we are now, I say something, and she goes, yep, I'm here. And then she says, I'm here, in her own voice. A lot of people are glad to hear your voice. So there's two I'm here's. One, she's using like a male voice to shape the words I'm here, and then she's able to get her voice over it. Check it out again. A lot of people and then right there, to hear your voice. The second one is her voice. Nick, I'm so glad to be able to speak with you. So that's the first one. Now listen to the second one. A lot of people are glad to hear your voice. Right there. It's amazing. This next one is where I ask, like, how did you get to the kitchen? And she says, the basement. How did you get there? How did you find the kitchen? Right there, it's real faint. The basement. The basement. I wonder if that has something to do with it. Like, she got into, we don't even know how she got into the area she got into, but. Now this one is they're here, it works, which is awesome. Right there. So that's confirmation that they're here and it works and that they're getting through with their new technology. Guys, one time, no, two separate streams now, like they've said that they use pixel technology. However, we can't get all spirits to confirm that. We can't even get the majority of them to confirm that. It's only been said a couple times, but I believe that the technology they use does have some name. Maybe it's a brand, maybe, like, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure on it, but I do believe that they have something because it's changing. I think they might make communication devices like the way we make cell phones. So I'm thinking maybe it's something like that. I'm going to keep the video playing like while I'm talking. But they said pixel before. I know they've got some type of technology. I know they have researchers working on things. And they probably have some form of currency too, whether it be in like life force, energy, whether they have an actual like tangible currency. I don't know. But let's keep going with the review here. What's up, Michelle Kane? What's up, Peggy? What's up, Fred? What's up, Betty Rose? Janet. What's up, Janet? Gilly Doo. What's up, Gilly Doo? Nisa. I see you, Nisa. Alright, let's keep it moving here. Guys, there's a bunch here, but I'm just going over the ones that I highlighted. So this one, I think, I want your all's opinion on this. It says, dead, I'm dead. Let me see what you all think, though. Yeah, dead, I'm dead. That's what I'm hearing. Julie Ray. What's up, Julie? Julie. Thank you for being here. Also, Crimson Angel Paranormal. I don't know if I gave you a shout out yet, Dave. But Crimson Angel and I did a collab stream. I'm going to review a little bit of that here tonight. Now, check out this. This is something that we get a handful of times. And I think this is potential interference. A.K.a. probably like some demonic associate or some dark entity that's trying to, you know, manipulate the session. I get the word give up, or the phrase give up a lot, and then I also get this. It's turn it off. Right there.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think it's definitely turn it off. I wonder if Ed stands for something, like if ED is the initials of his job title, and so he goes by Ed whenever he's interfering with someone's stream, like if it's like extra dimensional, or I don't know, like just something like the whole Ed thing. There's something going on, guys, and I hate it when it feels like there's something messing with us and we don't know like what for. Now this next one, I'm hearing devil, super clear.
Is there something dark around you?
The devil.
Is there something dark around you?
Devil, the devil. I just noticed we got a very bad connection warning right when it said devil, the devil.
Something dark around you.
The devil. And then, yeah, the third echo says he's the devil.
Is there something dark around you? Or was there something dark that night at the hotel?
Yeah, guys, I think there was evil. Oh, she says I know I'm dead right there. I know I'm dead. But yeah, guys, I think at the hotel that night when she was there, like, because the video surveillance clips are just, the movements she was making looked so unnatural, but I believe that there was some dark force, like, guiding her. Oh, it creeps me out to say that. Oh, but yeah, so I think there really was. Alright, let's keep it going here. So this next part is where I ask, is it easy for you or is it hard to use the gateway? And she goes, I hear it. And then a couple seconds later she goes, it's hard.
Is it easy for you to use or is it hard?
I hear it.
It's sounding weird.
It's hard right there.
It's sounding weird.
Let me slow it down because it's clear when I slow it down.
It's sounding weird.
Right there.
It's sounding weird.
So I gotta figure out how to make it easier for them. Now, I do want to point out one more thing. This is like the last one I've got. This was pointed out by Laura Rodriguez. We were calling out for her father, Edward Rodriguez. And at this point, I'm hearing help, Laura Rodriguez. And so, let me see what you all think. I start talking, so Laura is kind of under my voice.
Sarah Davey. My name is...
It's real faint. Yeah, that was pointed out by her.
Sarah.
Do I have the right timestamp on that? Guys, my connection says it's going in and out. Is the connection okay?
From Epic. Sarah Davey. Sarah Davey. My name is Eric Connor from Epic.
Yeah.
Davey. My name is Eric Connor from Epic.
Yeah, guys, I think there's something interfering with the connection after the session Crimson and I had. Also, like just the raw signal in general is less today than it has been by 10 decibels, which is a lot. Unless there's like solar flares or something which would explain it. Well, guys, we don't have too much longer. Let's go ahead and knock this out. I could. Here, we'll experiment with something. Oh, yeah, meteor showers tonight, is that right? Kristen Heggie, I see you. Angie McCarthy. Angie, you're here. That's awesome. Alright, so check this out. This is some stuff Dave and me caught. I'm hearing, so on this first response, as soon as we turn on the box, I'm like, who's here with us? I just want to figure out who's here with us. It sounds like Ed to me in different voices.
What's going on with Dave? And if there's something negative following him around.
Sheila Paulette.
First, I just want to see who's in the room with us right now. This is Eric from Epic. Who's here with me?
Right there. And then right there. Yeah, they said Ed a couple times, like, right off the bat. Oh yeah, and then check this out. Let me slow this one down. And then they go, I think it will happen. Right there. Think it will happen. And then happen on the second one. Craziness. Absolute craziness. And then you hear nervous very clearly. I think the spirits were nervous that Dave and me were working together. Right there. Oh, he says, I'm a bit nervous. The I'm a bit's real faint, but it's there. Yeah, right there. I'm a bit nervous. And now we're froze. There we go. And then check this out. This is a little freaky. Just a couple seconds later, I'm hearing, boy, I've got your soul. Let me know if you're all hearing something different, because it could be something different. Right there. It's like, boy, I've got your soul. I'm gonna slow it down a little more. Yeah, I'm hearing "Boy, I've Got Your Soul." So yeah, you're all hearing "Boy, I've Got Your Soul" or "Boy, I Got You So." Yeah, it could be either of those. Now check out, this is like one of our prize captures here. I say, do you know what Dave changed his channel name to? And they say Crimson. And it's, to me it sounds pretty plain. I want to hear what you guys think.
You know what Dave changed his channel name to?
Right there. He did Crimson, and then it's like da-da, like Crimson, da-da.
He just said Crimson.
They say Crimson twice. Yeah, it's so clear. And then right there, the second time it's even clearer. Like it's incredible. So, like we talked about, that means they're aware. They're not residual energy. They are intelligent. They're coherent. Yeah, exactly. It's Michelle. You heard masturbate? Michelle Kane says there's masturbate in there.
He just said Crimson. Did you hear Crimson?
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. All right, the next one is, oh yeah, that's just a note for me. I asked, is someone? Oh yeah, no, we should play this one. I asked, is someone monitoring us? And the answer is, you're right. Galaxy, speak. But there's a little bit more separation between the words.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Watching David. Is there some type of entity that's watching Dave and I? Guys, right. You're right.
So you're right. Galaxy, speak. Like what?
Guys, right. You're right.
Sarah Sunshine, it's so good to see you here. Sarah, you're awesome. With a name like Sunshine, how could you go wrong? All right, this next part is a little creepy. This one, so let me preface it by saying I've gotten spirits saying the word knock before on the gateway, and actually recently, like either last night or Monday. But last night, while I was here, there was 3 taps on the air vent in the bathroom, and not like, air vent running noises. It was like no noise at all, and then tap, 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 and then no noise after it. And it was weird because it sounded like intentional tapping, and it was 3. And then we get this. One of these spirits says the word knock 3 times. All right, let's try this.
No. Knock! They said that last night. They said knock. 3 times.
And it came through 3 times, like once normal and then 2 echo. And I think it's Dave saying no, like after the first knock.
Knock! They said that last night. They said knock. 3 times. 3 knocks. That's what they said. 3 knocks through the gateway.
And then here in a couple seconds, you hear "Let me answer." Can you all see the timestamp? Yeah, you can. All right. So down here, when it gets to 51:06, listen for "Let me answer."
Isn't that insane? Them saying knock. Like.
Right there. Let me answer.
I need it.
Let me in here. Maybe he's saying, "Let me in here." Let me engage them. Some like military talk. Yeah. I think it's "Let me engage them." Yeah, I think it's "Let me engage them." What? What? Guys, for real, like, there's been heavy air traffic over my neighborhood for like weeks now, for about 2 weeks. There's just been every day, just like military craft going back and forth overhead, and they always, like, they fly low, they make it real obvious, they're not trying to hide, like, but it's just odd. It's just odd. Very odd. So guys, that's actually all the timestamps I had. I wonder what that "Let me engage them" is about. So at this point, we're 35 minutes in to the stream. Hey, Angela. 101 Space Case. What's up, Space Case? Spirit Stalker. What's up, Spirit Stalker? Brown Coat Bob. What's up, everybody? So at this point, we could do a couple of things. We could just end the stream here, start celebrating, or we could do a brief Q&A. I do want to let you all know I've got a couple things in the pipeline. October 26th, I'm doing a research trip, and I'll actually be doing an investigation from a hotel room in a haunted hotel, which that'll be fun. I'll be testing new technology. If all goes well, I'll have a new radio setup and a new antenna to work with. And then on the 27th, I'll be investigating a haunted school for sure, and maybe somewhere else in the daytime before that. So a lot of big things coming there. November, I'll be doing Trans-Allegheny at some point. I'm not sure when exactly. I'm trying to work something out with them for that specifically. So I just got some cool things going. Guys, I gotta get in the field. Gotta get on location. I want to start visiting you guys. I know there's a handful of people that have been with the Epic family since we were at like 100 subscribers. And they always talk to me about like their homes being haunted. I'd love to start making some trips to Epic family members' houses and doing investigations there, seeing if we can collaborate and figure out what kind of hauntings are going on at your all's houses. I think that'd be really cool. I heard someone requested an EVP. So here, let's do this. Guys, let me find... Oh yeah, that's right, it's filled. Something has been entirely different with the EVP recorder. Like, there's a ton of noise in this room somehow, and we usually get EVPs constantly in this room, like almost as much as like Gateway. Now the balance has shifted. We're getting a lot of Gateway and not a lot of EVPs. One thing that we've documented here on this channel is that the darker energies, the darker entities, they will prefer to communicate via EVP, and they'll seemingly absorb the energy from the radio waves and make the radio boxes go quiet. So I'm thinking maybe there's the dark entities have left, and it's the light entities who like you. Oh wow, Laura Rodriguez, thank you, Laura. Thank you for being here. Guys, that stuff helps tremendously. Thank you, Laura. And also, a big shout out to you for being willing to reach out to your loved one on these streams. I know it takes like courage and strength to be able to ask for them to come through, especially knowing the chance that they might not come through too, which is, you know, it's always hard. And also, Laura, thank you for that timestamp. Guys, timestamps help tremendously. As you know, we have a huge catalog of evidence, just tons and tons of videos. So if you can ever timestamp something, if you hear a direct response, if you hear something like awesome, just throw the time code in the comments. Like, even if you just get a roundabout of where it's at, it helps tremendously. But Laura, thank you. Laura, you are awesome. You are epic. That means the world to me. Let's do an EVP, guys. What's up, Just the Facts? Who's in here with me right now? Do you have a message for someone watching? "101 Space Case, thank you so much." Like, that's awesome. I like that name too, Space Case. That should be a band name. Like, why? If there was a band called Space Case, I'd listen to them. Thank you, Space Case. That means the world to me. You rock. Look at all them shout outs. Look at all them shout outs for Space Case. That's awesome. Calm down. I'm down. That could just be noise. I'm dead. I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't, maybe it's this specific recorder. I've got two of these, but the ambient noise is super loud. And as you can hear, it's pretty quiet in here. It's quiet. I don't have any fans running. Like, I do have the egg on. The egg makes noise. Alright, guys, I want to show you an experiment I've been working on. Yes, my necklace is made out of headphone cords. Moldavite, green glass, green alien glass from space. I love it. What I'm going to do, so I'm trying to get this all in one frame. So this cord just goes to itself. It literally just loops back to itself. So I'm going to plug this into the microphone outlet of the recorder, which mutes the onboard microphone. It mutes it. Paranormal Intermission, thank you so much. Did you just do two, or was that someone else? Oh, and Paranormal Playground. Paranormal Playground, Paranormal Intermission, thank you all. Thank you all so much. Look at them balling out. Y'all are incredible. Thank you. If you want me to ask any questions on the EVP, let me know. Or if you got any questions for me. Crimson, that's right. They're straight epic. Paranormal Intermission, Paranormal Playground. Check them out too. Like, they're awesome. Alright, let's try this. So it's plugged in. This is Eric Connor from Epic. I'm doing an experiment here. Can you still come through this? Can you hear my voice? Look, you won't hear my voice on this. See, guys. Right there. See, there's stuff in here. This would take extreme filtering, though, which I'm not into. I want to expand on this principle, though. talking. So guys, there shouldn't be anything. The microphone's muted. What it's recording is either internal noise or like noise in the cord. Like, yeah, Gilly, when you hear all those, oh crap, when you hear all those weird noises, there we go. It means that there's fluctuation in something that it's recording. Like there's some type of fluctuation there. So I want to figure it out more. It sounds like, you know, when you're tuning a radio to a station and you're off, like if you're close by a station and you're off a little bit, it's like staticky, but you can kind of hear what's going on. We're like that close with the spirit world and with EVPs. We just need to find how to tune a little more to the left or the right, and we can connect directly to whatever station they're transmitting on. Which I'd love to figure that out. I'd absolutely love to figure that out. Let's do this. Alright, another experiment. I'm going to run the mic input on this, on the VM4100, which I have modded this with a double coil soldered onto the mic spot. It's like part of the mic, the microphone's still in it, but there's a double copper coil soldered on. And I'm going to run the mic of this to the microphone of this. Let me test it real quick. Testing, testing. Testing. Yeah. Sandy Wolf, I can see you. So by doing it this way, I don't know why it's not supposed to work like this, but it does. It picks up this microphone a tiny bit, and it still picks up the noise, the ambient like fluctuations or whatever that is. Jessica Paranormal asks, if a spirit goes to the light, will we still be able to talk with them? I believe that when they first cross to the light, they still have a connection to this world and to us, and we can still reach them, but only when they very first cross over. After a short amount of time of being crossed over to the light, their vibration is literally raised so much, so quickly, to match the vibration of the new reality they're in, that they become very distant and far away from potentially reaching us. It is possible for higher vibrational beings to reach out to us through the equipment. They have to lower their frequency dramatically just to get it to come onto these devices or to the spirit boxes and gateways. People have done it before, though. Like, numerous spirits have done it. Tim Whitfield throwing down the 2-0. Thank you, Tim. Tim, you rock. Tim's an epic researcher, by the way. He's been helping out tremendously. Paranormal Intermission, Paranormal Playground, they're epic researchers as well. Like, I love you guys. I love the epic research squad. I love the epic family. Tim, you're freaking awesome, man. Tim has helped prove that we can get confirmation of our pets on the other side by asking for his dog. So guys, I think that kind of research is important, knowing that our pets are in some state that other spirits can see them and confirm with them, which is awesome. All right, let's try this. Let's try a test here. We're going to try two tests. First, I'm going to record on this one. Well, no. Well, less complicated. We'll just hit record on this. So just recording on this one. This is Eric from Epic. I used to talk to Frank and Maxine all the time on this recorder. Do you guys still hear me? It sounds like someone talking. I know there's a bunch of static, but...
This is Eric from Epic. I used to talk to
It repeats me. It sounds like after I say it, it says Eric from Epic. Right there. Wow.
All the time on this recorder. You guys still hear me?
Get away from me. I know it's buried in there, guys, but right there. Sandy Wolf, you're saging right now? Yeah, Android device, I know. It's like, it's very experimental, but there's something here. There's something that's speaking through that static. They're able to transform it. However, we're just not tuned in at the exact right frequency. We're just like 1 or 2 off. But there's something there. All right, I'm going to switch it now. I'm going to record on this one and then play it back through this one. Who just repeated me? Thank you for talking with us. Is there anything I can do to help? Alright guys, what I'm going to do... Oh wait, no. I'm going to play it back into this recorder so we can slow it down. And so we can boost the volume, boost the gain on it. So we can actually talk while this is happening because it's recording through the headphone jack. Again, guys, this is all experimental. However, if we get anything out of the ordinary, it makes it worth it. That's part of why I love paranormal research so much, is because you get to test abstract ideas using, you know, parapsychology, a little bit of science, and a lot of intuition. All right, let's try it. That sounds like something at the beginning. That's before I hit play. There's a ton of stuff there. Guys, there's so many voices, but there's so much static too. this recorder here, the one that I modified, the VN4100, it picks up way more EVPs, but they're super quiet. You have to like run them through stuff. The reason I use the Sony Saint is because you don't have to filter it. When you do catch an EVP, it's usually really loud, but lately it's been different. Lately we haven't been getting back-to-back-to-back EVPs on this like normal, which I find odd. Alright guys, I'm going to do one last EVP to close it out. This went much longer than I anticipated, but hey, we're celebrating the weekend, having a good time, and I love you guys. Do you have a message for any of the Epic family members? Do you have a message for me? Mary Mawson, thank you. Do you have a message for Mary?
Do you have a message? Do you have a message for any of the Epic family members?
Kess Smith, thank you. Thank you, Kess. Kess, is there anything you want me to ask or say?
Mary Mawson, thank you. Do you have a message for Mary?
Yeah, I have to say, these recorders, they are EVP magnets. I love them. It's all about figuring out how we can help the spirits come through. Guys, let me break it down in the absolute simplest way, and this is how I think about it. If we can figure out how they transmit messages to us, we can then build a device to receive that transmission. They somehow are able to implant messages, words, phrases onto recorders while not having a physical person, a physical body. They can somehow imprint their message, and it's got to be some type of transmission. Maybe it's an ultra high frequency burst, and what happens is the recorder condenses those vibrations, those frequencies down, and so we hear what sounds like, you know, a whisper, but really it's a super dense high frequency vibration. But the recorder don't know that. The recorder's just recording noise. So there's more research to be done. There's definitely more research to be done. There's EVP machines to be built. The idea I have for my EVP machine would turn any recording device into an EVP magnet. Whatever you got, whatever you do, whatever recorder you like, turn it into an EVP magnet via this device that I'm working on. It's one of the many ideas. Steve, Paranormal Intermission, I'd love to hear your ideas. Any of the Epic researchers, I'd love to hear your ideas. Wendy Coates, what's up? Space Case, I do want to visit a Civil War fort or battlefield. That would be absolutely amazing. Urchi, we have had conversations with Tesla via the gateway and via some other techniques, some non-physical techniques that have worked as well. We've gotten a handful of things. They're saying that walkie-talkies may be easier for spirits to use because of frequency. Magnets need to be involved in some way or form. So, I don't know. We're going to keep researching. We're going to keep figuring this out. We're going to keep... Tell us the bat chasing you story. I have it on video. Guys, as a paranormal investigator, when you go to certain locations, it can become the location versus you. And I'm not saying the spirit's there. That too, though, but I'm saying the location versus you. So, we were investigating this old Victorian theater, this old opera house. It was me and two buddies, and there was a massive storm on the way there. I made it through the storm alive, and like as soon as I pull up, the storm, you know, fades out. Like as soon as I get there, it's ridiculous. So I get in, we're investigating, we're having tons and tons of tech issues, and someone had warned us that storm spirits are very strong and territorial, and storm spirits like to take up residence in old haunted buildings. You know, whenever there's a storm coming through, they'll be territorial over a building. Anyways, I didn't know what to think about it. Never encountered a storm spirit. We're investigating. We decide to split up. I'm in the upstairs hallway, scared to death. Guys, there was 2 people with me, and we were all in literal terror. It felt like at any moment, just hooded figures were going to come and just kill us or take us away. Like, absolute terror. So somehow we get the bright idea to split up. So I'm in the hallway where we first initially felt the terror after a spirit box session we did, a crazy spirit box session. And I'm in there by myself in the dark, turning on my flashlight like every 5 seconds. Doing EVP, and there's a man on the EVP like, I'm gonna kill you, like super angry dude. And so I'm freaking out, you know, and then we start hearing noises like, so, and they're way off on the other side of the building. I hear them like saying something, and I start hearing noises coming up the steps to the hall where I'm at, and I'm like, oh my God, like freaking out. So I turn my camera, get this, I turn my camera towards where I'm hearing the noises, thinking, you know, there's gonna be a demon, it's over, like we're all, it's done. Turn the camera, and I see this black thing flying towards me through the viewfinder of the camera. I'm in complete darkness. This is a full spectrum camera, so it's got like night vision. And I see it fly towards me, so I just, I like duck, run, and scream. That's my go-to move. Duck, run, scream. And so ducked, I ran, I screamed. And I get to the steps, and I'm like, what the F? What the F? F this S, like constant. So I'm on the platform of the steps. It's like 2-tiered steps, you know, like up one turn, up the other. And I'm on the platform. Another bat comes, and I see it again through the full spectrum because I'm just like moving the camera around. And here comes another one. I'm back into the wall. It looks like it would have looked like I got shot. Like back into the wall. Like, oh my God. And so I get down to the ground floor. The bats still, they're like chasing me. I swear it was something to do with the EVP recorder. Because for the first like 3 hours we were there, no problem with the bats. They literally flew from the very furthest edge of the building, like a floor below. They flew all the way to the lobby, made a hard right into the tiny steps, and then made another hard right to go up the steps further, and then a hard left to come get me. So yeah, Mary Callahan, I think there was some type of sonar signal picked up on the EVP recorder or something that drew them to me because they were just bombing me. Straight up bombing me. I do need to post the video. It's because I'm in, when it happens, like I'm in true terror mode. Like I'm dealing with an angry spirit and it's saying it's going to kill me, and I'm in this dark hallway by myself, and then these bats start swooping in, attacking my ass. Like, whew. Dark Knight says my minions are everywhere. Yeah, I've got that video. It's not a proud moment. It's not a proud moment. It's hilarious though. It's hilarious. Post bloopers. Yeah, there's plenty of paranormal bloopers, that's for sure. Bats, like a lot of times bats won't mess with you at all. It's like they're just chilling, you know? They're just straight up, they're posted. That was the only time ever that they mess with us. Apollo Paranormal asks, how much did your gateway cost to build? They're super expensive because, like this gateway in particular, this one has six components of the core of it. That's not including the two PSB7s. It's not including the EMF meter. It's ridiculously expensive. I'm blessed to be in the paranormal field now because I was a musician, like as my main thing for a long time was being a musician. So I've had tons and tons and tons of music gear. I've used tons of music gear. I understand how a lot of it works. So I had a handful of things laying around to make my first gateway, like the prototype, the early days. But for this one right here, if you were to buy all the components brand new, you'd be looking at literally just in parts almost $500 to build this exact one. No, it'd be over 600 including the spirit boxes. It's ridiculously expensive. So around 500 for just the parts. You can make smaller ones though. You don't have to make, this is a triple gateway right here. This has 3 inputs in it. Like there's this, you can build one that's a lot smaller. Like for instance, look at this one. This is a 1 input. You could rig it for 2 inputs, but only 1 with noise suppression. This one would be a lot cheaper. This would be, let's see, 40, 70, 70. Well, this pedal's discontinued, but this would be around $250, not including the gateway, the PSB7. With the PSB7, you're about $340. Oh yeah, and then that's another thing. Cables. I always forget the cost of cables. So 10, 15. So you're at $360, and then the power supply with the daisy chain. So about $380 with everything to build like a 1-channel one. This would noise suppress 1 channel. You could rig it for a 2nd channel without noise suppression by using adapters and different cables, depending on which reverb and echo you end up going with. Yeah. So, guys, it's expensive, and it's really not practical to try and like make these and sell them, because look at all the knobs on this. Like, there's just so many. If I were to make these, I'd have to make it to where there was just 1 knob, just this, and all the rest of it's like hidden or something. Like, there's too much going on. It's too complicated. Guys, any good device is simple, and that's something I need to work out, is making it simple. What I would really love is for all of us to meet up, go investigating, and people individually use these gateways. I'd love to have a table set up like at a location and have people come up and use the gateway and see what they can do with it. Alright, there were some other questions. Gilly Do asked, how often do figures map in your house, Eric? Very often. Usually we get at least 1 to 2 maps per session. So sometimes we go a whole session without anything mapping in on the SLS camera, which is rare. It's odd that happens, but it does happen. It does happen. Usually we get at least 1 to 2. Sometimes we'll get them when they like move and walk. Oh my God, guys, at the Benton farmhouse, the figures there get up and move. They walk around. Like, I guess they have enough energy, or maybe there's like enough dust particles in the air and their energy is able to manipulate it just enough that the SLS camera picks up all those particles changing. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm really thinking that there's something different at the Benton farmhouse, because I've watched these figures manifest and just move across the floor and walk across the room like on the SLS. Mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. The SLS camera, well, the SLS camera is the brand name for using a kinect camera for ghost hunting. The reason we say SLS is the same reason we say like Kleenex instead of tissue, but this is really a Kinect 360 camera. And what it is a 3D mapping infrared laser grid camera. It projects an infrared laser grid, which is what you're seeing here. This is projecting a grid of infrared dots, and there's an infrared camera to pick up. This is the infrared camera. It picks up the dots and the patterns in the room, and this is the normal camera. By having these 2 cameras and the laser grid, it's able to 3D map the room. what this does is it gives way more what the? Did y'all hear that? Something must have fell over. But it gives way more... I forgot what I was saying. They've proven that 3D mapping does in fact pick up spirit energy. It's been proven now. Like it's a real thing. If you want to see the proof, check out Greg and Dana Newkirk's video where they're attempting to scan what's called Billy the Idol. It's a old wooden African statue that has like an old spirit in it. But they've proven that the 3D scanning is able to pick up the spirit data. They've had numerous incidences where when they attempt to scan haunted objects, they get tons and tons and tons of impossible issues. And that's another thing. Like, for something to be 100% paranormal, it's when it's impossible. And the spirits prove time and time again they can do the impossible. That's why I love it. It's a numbers game. There's a quote, and I don't know who was the originator of it, but it's all about the odds. When the odds are greater than possible, it can be paranormal. It becomes paranormal. So I'm just pointing it around. Guys, I've gotten 4 figures to map in at once here at the house, and then I was able to match that at the Benton farmhouse. That's the most I've ever had it pick up at a time, is 4 figures at once. Todd, the antenna is on the radio units, so like with the FM box, so this plugs into the gateway, and this is the antenna. I've got the crystals, the copper, gold, like this is the antenna, and then there's an AM one, and the AM box has an AM antenna inside of it at the bottom part. Oh yeah, and then I forgot, I have a $300 microphone hooked up to that gateway for the ambient amplification. It's a microphone that I bought like 6 years ago for recording, like for recording vocals. But yeah, that would drive the amount of that up. But you could literally use any microphone. It does not have to be a $300 microphone if you ever want an ambient amplification. Guys, I'm reading through chat and seeing if I missed any questions. So Eric, a software on a computer isn't enough, right? For the SLS camera, right, you have to actually have a 3D mapping camera, which is what that is. You can get used Xbox 360 cameras for pretty affordable. You can get them for anywhere from like 20 to 50 bucks on Amazon or on eBay. So I'm thinking about getting a whole crap ton of them and doing some really crazy experiments. The FLIR, so Dark Knight, I see you mentioning the FLIR. I currently have the FLIR for Android. I got the FLIR 3 and an adapter that actually fit and worked for it, which is incredible. So far, we only have one potential capture, but it's spooky. And the capture is right where the SLS was mapping a figure. The SLS was mapping a figure sitting in this chair that I'm in now, and I turned the thermal camera slightly towards it, and you see what looks like a dark figure like poke its head over and then go back. And it happens again a little later right where the map is, so a little spooky. Guys, I'm trying to catch up on the questions here. Got the Kinect sensor with the small room adapter. I've been thinking about that small room adapter. Some people say they work perfectly fine. Some people say they're terrible. And I think what that is manufacturing issues, when sometimes the lens isn't manufactured right. However, I've been very interested in that because that would give you more depth. You could map figures up closer, which, I mean, if you're walking right into a spirit, it'd be nice to be able to map it. So that's awesome you've got that, Dark Knight. That's really cool. Joanne, what was your question? Can you point it on another live stream like you did with Crimson? Point the Kinect. Are you saying point the Kinect to you all, or? I'm not sure. Jessica, your question, is there a difference between the old Kinect and the new one? I have the new one. A lot of people claim that this model right here is the #1 go-to, but that's only because it's been tested more. So once there's more testing done on all the models, then we'll really know for sure like what's better, what works best. There's Xbox 360, and then there's Xbox One, and then there's Xbox for Windows. There's 2 different ones. A lot of people claim that the Xbox 360 one is the best one out of the 3 or 4 that are available. But again, that's just because it's been tested the most. That's my opinion, is that's why that people would say that, is just because they've tested it the most. You got the Xbox One Kinect and use Windows with it. I'd like to build like 3 or 4 different versions of the SLS camera and really test it head to head. So Jessica, the Xbox One sensor might actually be better. It might be better. It just needs more testing. Like, I would love to have an Xbox One Kinect sensor and mess around with it. I'd love to have all 3 or 4 of the different Kinect sensors together, all mapping the same area, and see what maps what. That'd be a real good test. Crimson Angel says, can smoke machines be used in the paranormal investigations? Yes. Yes, they can. The best example of that is, well, the best example that I can recall is Ghost Adventures did an episode where they filled up a hallway with smoke from a fog machine to where it was like a dense fog and it didn't need to constantly be fogged up. And they put a laser grid pin on it, and a couple minutes after they did that, they got this mass come through the smoke. Like, you could see it come in, and the laser grids, you know, move around, and then it goes back out like it got sucked out. It was really cool. But I've tried it a few times with the vape. And I've tried a fog machine before too, and I've never gotten anything to happen with the fog machine or the vape. Mary Mawson says, Eric, do you ever use torches for the spirits to switch on or off to answer questions? So for those who don't know, torches is another word for flashlights. And yes, I've used them before. I've never used them on a live stream, but I've used them for investigating, and we have gotten results with them. There's a lot of controversy around using the flashlights and the torches for spirits to communicate with. However, I don't mind it. Guys, let me put it this way. I'm a 100% believer. I'm beyond the whole proving things. What I'm here to do is figure out how the spirit world is communicating with us and build the devices to receive those messages. So if there's something to be learned from the flashlight trick, what it does is it takes the battery connection and separates it just a tiny little bit. So that way the power can still jump to it if it needs to. Basically, it just takes a tiny fluctuation, a tiny, tiny fluctuation, and they can get their message out using the flashlights. So what we can learn from that is we need to build more sensitive devices. Devices where it takes just a tiny little bit of energy to cause some kind of fluctuation, to cause some kind of change. And with the gateway device, with the radio boxes, if they were more sensitive, if they're unshielded, if they have some type of vocal modulation booster in them, designed into them, I think we'd get better communication, better contact. The whole thing is combining technologies in a way that's usable and ideally portable so we could test them in the field. Michelle says, tell us about the REM pod. I'd like to know how that works. Face this towards the door. That's a creepy looking shot back there. Okay. REM pod. Taped up because epic. Alright. what this does is it puts a slight bit of energy into the antenna, which creates its own electromagnetic field. And when something touches the antenna, it goes bananas. When you get close to the antenna, just close enough to disrupt the field, here, let me do it this way. See, it starts going off like that. This antenna has to have something around it or touching it in order for it to go off. A lot of times, there's numerous times where I use this during an entire investigation, an entire live stream, and it never goes off. There's other times when it's absolutely lit with energy, with spirits, with communication, and this thing will go straight bananas. Like it, I absolutely love the REM pods. My first real experience with it was at Poasttown Elementary. When you leave, you believe. That's the shirt I'm wearing right now. Rep in Poasttown. My first real experience with it was Live Paranormal held an event there, testing out this theory they had. And I sat down at this teacher's table in the mean ladies' room, or the mean teacher's room. I sat down and I started asking some questions. They had 4 different REM pod models on the table. All 4 of them went off at the same exact time. And so we're thinking, you know, like something non-paranormal, like maybe there's some type of energy fluctuation, like maybe there's some, like, I don't know, like we've never seen 4 of them go off at once. We start asking questions, asking them to use the REM pods, and we said light all 4 of them up if you can. All 4 went off again. 4 different REM pods placed along the whole length of this this mean teacher's desk, and they were going on. It was the most, like, in that moment, it felt supernatural. Because there was something able to use enough energy or to spread its energy across all 4 of the REM pods. Guys, that moment made me realize that it was time to get a freaking REM pod. So, absolutely love the REM pods. You have to be within proximity of them to go off, and to make all 4 go off at the same time and on command, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Guys, careful talking about the Huff stuff here. The mods have been instructed to time anyone out if they get too deep into Huff conversation. Huff is considered like politics. We just kind of don't bring that up. Yeah, Angie's throwing down the wrench. Bob's throwing down the wrench. I don't have to get y'all timed out, but it might happen. It's just, we just don't want people who, we all have the same beliefs about the paranormal. We all believe 100% that it's real, and that everyone can experience the paranormal. Everyone can hear the spirits using these devices like the gateway, the spirit boxes. It makes it to where you don't have to be a medium, you don't have to be a psychic, and you can still connect to spirits. You can still connect to the other side. You can get intelligent interaction with non-material beings. We all believe that. We all are a part of that, and we're all participating in the research. So I say we focus on what we all agree upon and what we love, instead of potential drama. So REM pod is amazing. REM pod's absolutely amazing. I highly suggest, like, if you're new to ghost hunting and you want a good piece of gear, I mean, I always suggest the spirit box, some type of radio communication device. But if you're looking for another piece of gear, the REM pod's amazing. A spirit with enough physical energy, with enough just energy in general, can talk to you all night on the REM pod by using yes or no answers. It's like an electronic version of dowsing rods, which I am thinking about getting into dowsing rods. It'd be absolutely amazing. I love it. Guys, oh, crap. When I was at the Benton Farmhouse doing that tour, there was a woman there with us, Beverly, and we were trying to get the spirits to use the K2 meter, the EMF meter, and this thing, just any of them, to, indicate that they're here. And so after a couple minutes, we didn't get nothing, so I put this next to Beverly. And So she's probably sitting like, it was probably a foot from her, you know, a decent distance. She goes to move her hand and the REM pod goes off. And she's like this far away from it and it's going off. And so we're thinking, maybe she's setting it off, maybe her phone. So she goes to like reach her phone and put it in a different pocket. Her phone's not there. And so they're like, well, what about your ring? Maybe your ring. And so she takes the ring off, hands it to the guy she was with, and then it's still doing it. It's still going off around her. The guy sitting next to her, he reaches over and puts his hand like right up next to it, and he was like closer than that, and it wasn't going off for him. So the REM pod was going bananas about a foot away from this chick, and it wasn't going off at all for the guy putting his hand next to it. There's something in our energy that makes it to where we can manipulate the REM pod. Like, what is that? Like, how? And so, tested it a while, and it was like, at some points, it got to where she could get her hand like right up on it, and it wouldn't go off. And then she'd be super far away from it and move just a little bit, and it would alarm. We came up with the idea that maybe the spirits are researching something on their end. Maybe they're infusing energy into her for a second and then watching the REM pod and then taking it back out. Guys, there's numerous times in these live sessions here where there have been groups of spirits that come through like investigators, guys, and they'll talk about paranormal investigations. They'll say paranormal. I'll ask, do you know what the paranormal is? Yes. I'll ask, am I a ghost? They say yes. They say, yeah, you're dead. They say, Eric, you're dead. Eric, you're a ghost. They said that last night. They said that I was a ghost. They said I was dead. So it makes me think that there is the potential that there is reality bending, and there are paranormal investigators who are receiving messages from us thinking that we're ghosts and we're thinking that they're ghosts because we're coming through each other's equipment. I mean, it's all on the spectrum. It's all on the electromagnetic spectrum. Infinite realities theoretically do exist. They're theoretically proven to exist. You get what I'm saying? So it is possible that we're investigating ourselves. We're being investigated in a paranormal fashion by other people in other planes of existence. So, especially here, I think in another reality, there's a group, people are like, yeah, that house is haunted. There's a ghost there named Eric, and he's in this one room and he just talks constantly. Anyone can reach out to him and he'll hear you somehow and he'll talk back. And it's the gateway. They come through the gateway because they're in the same room. It's chilling me up thinking about it. Like, what? Android device says the ancient people said we live in a realm. I believe that. I believe there's tons of realms. Fred Sylvester says their energy makes phones go off. I've seen that. I've actually witnessed that before, so I know that phenomenon you're talking about. There is some type of energy we can emit. All right, guys, I'm gonna close it out here. I do want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you for being a part of this. Actually, Mary Callahan has a great question here. She says, I wonder if spirits hang around cell phone towers. I would be willing to believe that to the extent that they also need shelter. But if I were a spirit and I was wanting to get away from people, not be detected, not be found, I'd go somewhere where people are not, like a cell phone tower. Also, if there's tons and tons and tons of energy there, which there is, and there's tons and tons of radio transmissions, frequency, which there is, it'd be a good spot for them to figure out how to communicate, how the frequencies work, if they can absorb energy from them. I don't know. I would be willing to bet that the spirits are well aware of cell phone towers, aware of power grids, power lines, water lines. Spirits do want shelter, though. Spirits do not like to live outdoors, just like people. There's some type of weather phenomenon that affects them, and there's some type of need to be housed like we have. So I'm not sure, but if you have a spare room in your house, if there's a part of your apartment or house or wherever you live, if there's a part that's not used, like an attic that you never go into, a basement that you never use, a room that's always used for storage, no one ever goes in there, that's where your spirits are. Spirits like to keep out of our way, and we unintentionally, subconsciously keep out of their way. Our energies just aren't meant to mix day in and day out. So think about that next time you go to that unused room of yours, or that unused basement, unused attic, or storage room. Think about that. Yeah, Crimson Angel, Dave, we had a great stream earlier. That was awesome. Reverend Seaman, Reverend Seymour Graves. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible slip of the tongue there. Seymour Graves, thank you for being here. Thank you, Reverend. Freudian slip, yeah. That's another one for the blooper reel right there. That's awesome. That's a good note to end on, unless someone else has any questions. Lily Miua. How do you say that name? Lilimiua. Lilimua. It's a beautiful name. All those lulls. Guys, that's awesome. That's how you know everyone's having a good time, is when you see a string of lulls. Wendy Coates says, cracked me up. Yeah, it was like a bomb went off in my brain when I said it. Siri, I can wear a watch, but this is what always happens. I've had this fixed under a year ago. This is a nice watch, too. It's a Fossil watch. I had everything redid in it. New battery, new everything. And it don't do anything. It's stuck. It stopped working. It always happens. But I'd usually get a little bit of time out of them. Like it's not like it's immediate, but yeah, it stops. They always stop. Gilly Doo says that's what happens when my dad wears a watch. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people where it happens. Yeah, Emma, I think Emma's got a good point. There's a lot of electromagnetic interference whenever you do paranormal work, and I think that does mess with it. Space Case, I've heard of the kinetic watches. That would actually be a pretty good idea. Get the $10 watches from Walmart, Tim. I like it. Their $10 watches are actually looking pretty nice nowadays. Marco, what's up, Marco? I didn't know you were here. I see you. I see you, Marco. Eric, when do you think the soul enters the body, in the womb, or... That's a tricky question. It's just like asking, when does the soul leave the body? And to the best of my ability, with what I can think with, it seems that the brain holds the cage around the soul. It seems that we are considered alive and we feel as if we're alive until the brain lets go. So there's some type of neurochemical, physical, neuropsychological cage for our soul, for our existence, that exists in here. Even if you are brain dead and your body's alive, something about just the chemicals receiving blood flow from your body in your brain still keeps that cage on your soul somehow. So I have no idea when the soul would enter the body or leave the body, but my best guess is that it's something to do with the brain. Christy Cheney, thank you. Shout out to Christy. Christy's also an epic researcher. Christy is awesome. Thank you, Christy. Christy throwing down the big 5. I love it. I love it. You're awesome. You're absolute. Look at all them shout outs. Look at all them shout outs. Love it. Christy Hart. Guys, you want to know something trippy? Where's the heart located on your body? Where's the heart located? The physical beating heart. I'm asking you guys, like, where do you all think the heart is? Do you see all those different answers? You got left, you got middle, you got a little left of middle. When I was a kid, they taught me that your heart is way on the left. That it's over here. That's why you pledge allegiance to the flag in America like this. Everything now on the internet says the heart is in the dead center. Like all the graphs, all the medical charts, when you look it up, it's trippy. It's really trippy. It is something that makes me believe in the Mandela effect. So I was always taught that it's way over here. Now they say that it's in the center. And like that's insanely trippy to me. The whole Mandela effect thing. There's things that like there's just little things, and maybe it's just me getting older, but like having trouble, like there's just little things I've noticed about myself that feels off. There's different theories. Megan Turner, I will tell you to the best of my ability what the Mandela effect is. It is an effect where people remember things differently than they happened. And it's not just like people, it's the majority of people in the world remember them differently than they actually happened. For instance, a lot of people thought Nelson Mandela died back in the 90s. There's actually newspaper articles about his funeral that have been surfing around the internet. He actually died in the 2000s, like over 10 years plus after when everyone thought he did. Let me give you another example. Do you all remember the video of the Chinese protester standing in front of the tank holding a sign? I mean, we were all shown it. It was a huge viral video. It was one of the first like viral videos. Do you all remember that? There's like a name for it's a super famous video. There's some name for it. What happens in that video? What happens to the protesters? Do you all remember what happens to that protester? Siri says he got ran over. Yeah, Tiananmen Square guy. Space Case says he lays down in front of the tank. Angie says ran over by the tank. Lori says he was pushed out of the way. Tank stops. So here's the thing. The tank stops, and some people come and grab him, like his friends or some people, and cart him off. I remember him getting run over. Now, maybe, here's my try to rationalize it. What if there's like a music video out there where they show that, and then they add a clip of him getting ran over or something like that? Maybe there's some like something we saw where he didn't get run over. Guys, that was one of the clips that like my mind melted. It was like I remember dude getting run over, and when I watched it, I felt ill. I felt ill seeing it happen. It just destroyed me. Let me ask you this: it's Snow White, right? I'm trying to think. What's the movie where they say mirror, mirror on the wall? Do y'all remember the name of that movie? Disney movie. I'm bad with Disney stuff. I didn't watch Disney stuff a whole lot. It is Snow White. Is it mirror, mirror on the wall, or is it magic mirror on the wall? Sheila Paulette, thank you for being here. See, that's the thing. I remember it being mirror, mirror on the wall. The majority of people remember mirror, mirror on the wall, but it's actually magic mirror on the wall. Even if you watch the oldest VHS copy you have, it says magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all, or something like that? It says magic mirror, and like, there's a ton of stuff that's like this. Like, yeah, there's prayers have been changed from what we remember. There's a handful of them. There's Star Wars. What's the most iconic phrase from the old trilogy of Star Wars, where Darth Vader says, "Something, I am your father." Right? He says, "Something, I am your father." Luke, I am your father. See, that's what I thought too. I thought Luke, I am your father. Even the voice actor says it's Luke, I am your father. Well, that's what there's numerous interviews where he said it in the past. He actually says, "No, I am your father." So like Luke, I am your father is in a lot of like transcripts and stuff. But he says, "No, I am your father." And what's up, Anna? Thank you for being here. So it's freaky. It's real freaky. There's a lot of these examples. There are some that people just don't remember little details about different things. Like the Ford logo has this weird like pigtail thing in the F that a lot of people don't remember. That could be either way. There's some about the Kennedy assassination, like how many people were in Kennedy's car when the assassination occurred? How many people were in the car? Four, 6, 4, 4, 4. 4, 5 or 6, 5, 7, 4. Oh, whoa, that's spooky. The monitors went off. So your all's minds are gonna be blown. This is mind bending right here. If you rewatch any footage of it currently, there's 6 people in the car. There's 3 rows of seats. There's 6 people are in the car. I remember when I was a kid, we saw it. And I remember there being 4. Maybe because I'm a kid, and maybe I'm just assuming that cars hold 4 people. Like maybe that's what I was thinking. But I've rewatched it recently, and there's no joke. There's 6 people in that car. There's 6. I can't believe it. Like and they explain it. I mean, it makes sense, but the Kennedy Museum has the replica of the car, and it only has 4 people in it. Like, there's a lot of weird stuff. Like, there's 3 rows of seats. There's 3 rows of seats in the car. Like, if you rewatch the footage, there's 2 Secret Service people, a congressman and his wife, and then Kennedy and his wife. Now, Mary Callahan brings up CERN. A lot of people think, including some super intelligent people, like people who are like just beyond intelligent, they think that CERN could have done something that altered our original reality on a micro level. What I mean is, there's this theory that if you changed the weight of a single electron, it could cause the entire reality that you're in to collapse. And what would happen, because there's infinite realities, what would happen is that reality would collapse into the one immediately next to it. What this means is everything in that reality would be infinitely similar except for a few small things, just a couple of tiny things that'd be different. So that's one of the theories from an actual like physicist. Mm-hmm. Oh wow, battery power is low. The math adds up to where if you made subatomic particles unstable, that reality could collapse. There's a ton of other theories and ideas. It's possible that the wormholes that they've created, that they've openly talked about, like that's not like a hidden thing or anything. It's possible that the wormholes passing through alternate realities might bring tiny, just impossibly small bits of data from them that have added up over time after all these collisions they've done. Just tiny bits of data from other realities coming through. So there's also D-wave computers, quantum computers. Guys, I've always been fascinated by quantum computers. When I was a kid in school, that the idea of quantum computers existed because they knew that physical matter can exist in, multiple states, whether observed, not observed, this and that. Like, quantum computing, literally, like if you listen to the guy explain how these D-wave computers work, what they do is they reach to both realities immediately adjacent to ours and get the answer to if it were yes or if it were no or if it's neither or both. Like, that's literally how they explain it. They explain that these quantum chips access data from multiple realities at a time. And using that data, they're able to come up with answers that we would never be able to come up with just in a million years. I'm not explaining it well. Check out D-Wave Computers, and there's a speech this guy gives on it, and it's just incredible. It's incredible. Mary Callahan says Black Knight satellite. The Black Knight satellite is it's real. It's a documented thing that's been here for 13,000 to 15,000 years, and it also weighs up to 15,000 tons. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Janet asks, maybe we are in a matrix reality. Here's some proof of that. Quantum entanglement. I gotta hit this. Quantum entanglement has been proven. It's not a theory. It's not, it's not pseudoscience. Quantum entanglement is real. If you take a subatomic particle and split it into parts, and you move these parts 10 miles away from each other and completely shield them from light, you shield them from sound, you shield them from everything. Anything you do to one of the particles happens to the other one, no matter how far away it is, no matter what conditions it's in. Any change that occurs to one of the particles happens to the other one, no matter how far it is. It shouldn't be possible. It like, based on our laws of physics, based on how we currently perceive the universe, it shouldn't be possible. So it is, though, and they've proven it time and time again. That one of the most famous ones is the 10 mile apart experiment, where they like proved it for sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt. It happens. Like, it's insane. Someone asked, Haley's Crazy Daddy. That's a great username, by the way. Eric, what do you think about time travel? Einstein theoretically proved that time travel is possible. Currently, only going to the future is theoretically possible. There's been numerous people who have suggested recently that going to the past is where we get all these alien encounters, UFOs and abductions and sightings. those are all potentially humans from the future. There's a group of people that believe that, and it's possible. Urchi Paranormal TV, thank you for being here. Be safe, be blessed. I like that. Urchi, you rock. But yeah, some people do think that a lot of the alien visitations are us from the future trying to check out what happened, before it all went down. And that would be a good reason to say that UFO sightings are increasing, because we're about to hit the end of the world. We're about to hit the end of the world as we know it. Not the end of the world, and maybe there's a ton of UFO sightings because they're like, well, let's see what happened. Let's see how we got to this nuclear wasteland. Let's see, maybe. It's a big maybe. But it is a theory, and it's something that people believe. Urchi, I got you. Yeah, Steve, you bring up a good point. Paranormal Intermission says, this reality will change and we go on. That's very true. If our reality did, in fact, collapse into the next one over, we've retained ourselves. We've retained our memories, even though our memories are wrong. That's freaky to think about. We're still here. We're still remembering what we experienced in a reality that no longer exists. It's not there. It's completely gone. That's weird. That's weird, to think about it that way. Android device, great point. It's talking about old hieroglyphs, paintings and stuff where they have spacesuits on the hieroglyphs and ancient paintings. Guys, let me just blow the lid off something real quick. The first known civilized race of humans, the Sumerians, had a super intricate language, a language that seems to be the combination of all of our languages, which, crazy, right? They had, villages, educational systems. They mined gold. And yet, so it's like we had this advanced civilization to start off with. Boom, we're mining gold, we're teaching kids stuff, we have a crazy language, we know math, we use the same math system they use. They knew the planets, they knew about the stars and the alignments, and then all of a sudden something happens, and then all that's gone. Guys, there is lost technology, lost civilizations. There is a lot that has been purposefully hidden or removed, for some huge reason. The pyramids of Egypt, the pyramids that came up at the same time all over the world. That's not coincidence. That's not by chance or luck. You would have to really believe anything to believe that all these civilizations all at the same time decided to start building pyramids. They're power systems. That's what I believe. A global wireless power system, kind of like Tesla wanted, but with these giant pyramids. They're made out of they've got certain materials in it. Limestone, great conductor. Limestone is also involved in a lot of hauntings. That's why it would be amazing to investigate the Great Pyramids of Egypt. I don't know how they feel about that. It would be amazing though, because I guarantee you there is spiritual data and energy. Oh, it would be so awesome. There are secrets at the pyramids that we can only imagine. I guarantee you they've stored data there in a spiritual fashion. Check this out. So there's rumors that Tesla had access to some of the sacred texts and sacred books that only few people have ever seen before in the history of man. So I think Tesla, not only was he getting visions from the other world and from potentially extraterrestrials, he said his visions were so clear he could take apart machines that he just instantly visualized. He could take them apart and figure out exactly how they work. He could make them even better. Tesla is another level. We've been trying to reach him in the research streams, and I think it's very important that if there is a potential for Tesla to influence anything in this life, I think it's very important that he does so and that we get his energy into whatever it is that we can, because there's something about that. There's something about that. Janet says he was out of this world. Absolutely. He was the first person to have contact with the Black Knight satellite. That's huge. He was the first person on our planet to actually be able to contact it. And then they detected it decades later. Guys, the Black Knight satellite is a real thing. It's an alien satellite that's been in our orbit for 13,000 plus years. It weighs almost 15,000 tons, anywhere from 10 to 15,000 tons. And it was able to do a polar orbit long before we ever thought about being able to do a polar orbit. The Black Knight satellite is real. It's absolutely real. People have literally gotten messages from it. The Black Knight satellite was able to communicate with this one guy by taking his AM radio wave transmissions and echoing them back to him in a certain pattern. And the message he got from that was just, I need to make a short video on just the Black Knight satellite and all the, like, I did a long stream on it before, and the thumbnail is the picture of the satellite. Like, there's tons of pictures of it. But I need to make another video on it because it's important. It's absolutely important. Like, I think the Bigfoot phenomenon, the UFOs, ghosts, the paranormal, demons, jinns, I think all of that's interconnected, and it's a big puzzle to the outer worlds, to the outer realms of our existence. I'm sure there's infinite realities, and I'm sure there's infinite realms. I'm sure that we are in like a middle spectrum. We're in a middle spectrum where we can see the colors. Because think about it this way. Ultraviolet light, comes from the sun, and we can barely see ultraviolet. Infrared is heat, and infrared occurs right after red on the spectrum. It's not like there's like the color red and then infrared's like way on down the spectrum. No. Infrared is immediately after the color red. What's that mean? That means that this color red here, the step up from that is heat. Try and wrap your mind around that. So these colors don't normally associate anything with us besides the shade they are. One step away from red is heat. I'm trying to put it into perspective because audio, magnetism, frequency, they're all on the same exact spectrum as color. What we see and what we hear is on the same spectrum. What we feel temperature-wise, cold and warmth, is on the same spectrum as what we see, the colors we see. So, guys, I could talk about this stuff forever. That's how my mind works. It is 8 o'clock though. Someone did mention walking the dogs. I do actually have to walk the dogs. And then I've got a private research stream at 9. So if you want to join the epic researchers, if you want to become an epic researcher, if you just want more epic, if you want to check out the goals of our epic research and how we're going to build the epic laboratory, check out patreon.com/epicfam. Guys, like, any donation helps, but being an epic researcher helps. Just like the sad truth of things is, whenever there's more people behind something, whenever there's a bigger backing, you go further, faster. And with this epic research, you all are proving that we can all get together and focus on something, and it happens. We've had spirits in the research streams read people's names on chat and answer their questions without me asking them. Is Sandy Wolf still here? At one point, Siri said in one of the research streams, Siri typed out, "Well, if you can see this, can you say Sandy?" And lo and behold, just right away, gateway device goes, "Sandy." Clear as, like, the clearest Sandy I've ever heard come out of any box ever. Like, Espo, I'd love to go straight to the pyramids. It'd be absolutely amazing. But guys, check out the Patreon page. It has all the goals and stuff, and I'm going to do some update, like, videos on the goals and whatnot. But, like, there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done, and to get it done, it takes passion, drive, and it takes epic research. I can't thank you all enough. Like, Like, you all are absolutely amazing. Dimitri, don't worry about $2. You being here is helping the epic research. You all being a part of this makes it what it is. Just being able to be in the sessions, to be in these events, to be with me while this goes down makes it what it is. So, Dimitri, $2 a knot, thank you for being here. It means the absolute world to me. Your support, your interaction with us is more than enough. Angie, yeah, exactly, Angie. Exactly. But guys, I love you guys. I got to make more videos like this and more topics like this. Like, Janet, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you subscribed too. Aaliyah McKee. Aaliyah, you're awesome. You're all also awesome. Dave, Crimson Angel. What up? That stream we did earlier was great. Tim Whitfield, Michelle Kane, Angie, Janet, all you guys. I love all you all. Thank you all for being here. I'll see the Epic Researchers tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, so here less than an hour. And for the rest of everybody, I'll see you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. live every night at 6. We always do something. Oh, tomorrow's the call-in show. So if you want to call in and talk to the Gateway live on the live stream, let's do it. Let's absolutely do it. Facebook call me. I'm going to work on like maybe doing like Google Hangouts too. So that way you can call. Oh, the phone's about to die. So that way you can call that way too. But guys, I love you guys, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Live 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And tonight, if you want to be an epic researcher, we're doing a research session reaching out to Nikola Tesla, loved ones. So live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern for the research session. Check out patreon.com/epicfam. If you want your epic t-shirts, those are, all right, too much. That's too much. Just check out the Patreon if you want to be a part of the research. Love you guys. Stay tuned. Stay awesome. Stay epic. See you at the next stream. You guys are amazing.